The level of discussion on the David Pakman Show Reddit lately has been very, very high. And I mean a lot high, to quote our president. Join the discussion at davidpakman.com/Reddit. A user named JP Dinsies posted a very interesting comparison of the policies of Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump to try to make clear that there is really not very much in common between Biden and Trump, and quite a bit in common between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. And I think it's important for us to understand. I mean, listen, I don't think it's useful to pretend that Joe Biden is something he isn't. And that applies to both sides. Joe Biden is not Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden is not a progressive. Joe Biden is not going to push for nearly every policy that Bernie Sanders was pushing for. But Joe Biden is way closer to Bernie than he is to Donald Trump. And whether you look at the minimum wage, paid family leave, Citizens United, the death penalty, prison sentencing related to drugs, abortion rights, capital gains taxes, wealth taxes, the climate, nuclear power, you actually see that Bernie and Trump are both no's, sort of, and Biden is a yes. So in any case, that's not bragging about Biden's position. But the point is, if we say Biden's more like Trump than Bernie, we are just very, very wrong. I want people deciding on the facts. If you think that we are better off with Trump than Biden, then vote that way. But don't be tricked into making a move that helps Trump because you incorrectly believe that Biden and Trump share significant policy, when really the vast majority of the shared policy is between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, to different degrees on many issues. Decide however you want, but I want you to decide with the facts, not with incorrect talking points. So a very good post by JP Dinsies. El Bonzano posted, is David overusing the word weaponized? And a lot of people in the responses saying, this seems like a weird thing to be concerned about, and it's an appropriate word to be using. Yeah, my use of the word weaponized has definitely increased lately because we are seeing so much weaponization by the government. Donald Trump has weaponized disinformation. Donald Trump has weaponized his delusions of grandeur. Donald Trump has weaponized his own and his followers' ignorance and gullibility. We are seeing a level of weaponization, both by Donald Trump and by right-wing media that carries water for him, that is like nothing I've ever seen. And I was actually watching, I went on YouTube and I found some clips of Fox News covering George W. Bush's presidency. And of course, you know, it's the normal playbook. How do you support a standard Republican president if you are standard right-wing media? And it almost seemed quaint compared to the degree of weaponization that we are seeing today. It's not a defense of George W. Bush, and it's not a defense of Fox News. It is merely a shocking realization I came to of how far things have slid since the George W. Bush Fox News era to the Trump Fox News OAN phase in which we now find ourselves. Lastly, user Turkey, Bacon, and Cheese posted to the Reddit, Pedro call appreciation, writing, I just want to say that the Pedro part of the show was hilarious, a nice change in mood, and worth the time he wasted. Thanks for the laugh. Yeah, I got an email from someone claiming to be Pedro over the weekend with what they claimed was a picture of them. And it was just a drawing of a completely stereotypical Mexican man. And it struck me as incredibly offensive to some degree, and also hilarious because Pedro claims to be Colombian, but the drawing was of what you would see as a stereotypical Mexican, like mariachi guy. It's crazy. The entire Pedro arc is taking on a life of its own, but I'm glad people are getting some enjoyment out of it in these otherwise very dark times. Join the discussion at davidpakman.com/Reddit. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.